So I have interrupted my clearings to talk to you guys. So while Jaden plays his guitar upstairs, and that's the music playing in the background. Um, I was just thinking, I'm always sitting, talking and thinking. I was like, you know what I should tell the men, like, because we're always complaining. And shut up, because I hear you, but oh, fucking finally. We're always complaining. We're always complaining about what you do wrong, right? We're always complaining about what men do wrong and how men get it wrong and how men doesn't do this and how men don't do that. I always say, if I didn't have boys, I swear to God, I would probably hate men. That's just me. But I have boys, so I have to find a way to overcome my experience and not let my experiences taint taint what the overall gazillion other men probably are or could be. Does that make sense? So this is me giving men flowers for today. Um, and I'm going to tell you what I see men do that makes my heart melt. Like when men do this, and it's not just romantic men in romantic relationships, which I'm very single, but it's not romantic when I'm waiting on my person. But it's not a romantic, only romantic. It's people when I see people at my office, when I interact with men on the street, when I cuz I'm watching how everyone moves. And I'm watching the women too because that's a video for another day because I've seen some shit that it's like, ladies, what is that? But that's for a different day. So with the men, what I've seen that makes me go, "Oh, thank you," and brings out the feminine essence of me, no matter who it is. And feminine energy is not just sexual. Don't get it twisted, it's sexual, but it's not just a sexual, sensual thing. It it makes things grow. It 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 sprinkles something in you as a man from what I've seen. It sprinkles stuff in you as a man if you're attuned in the right frequency to receive it. But like I said, this is not a thing on men. I'm just telling you, right? So, one of the most attractive things to me as a woman is when I walk into a room and the men stand up. I'm an old school, olden day, Victorian era, beautiful novel books type of person. I am a hopeless romantic. I really am. If you do not activate the romance part of my brain, the rest of me will not follow. It will not. If you treat me like a dude, that is what you're going to get from me. If you keep me where I have to feel masculine and be masculine to defend myself and to defend my cubs, no matter how big the cubs are, they're still going to be my cubs. And I still got to defend my cubs. You're not going to get the soft, gentle part of me. You're going to get the part that's built for war. Does that make sense? So, the part that one of the first things that I think is the most attractive thing is when you walk into a room and the men stand up. When a woman walks into the room and the men stand up. Even if it's not me. This is what I need you to understand. Even if it's not me, I'll be sitting because women don't stand up for other women. It's just not something we do. You know, and it's like if you're here going, well, what about the men? That's not what this video is for. This video, I'm just talking to the men. And if you don't want to receive it, that's okay. That's okay. I want to talk to the men that want to have a relationship, that want to be in love, because I know I want to be in love. I want to be in that frequency where my heart just melts every time I see them. You understand that he he makes me feel like the only thing I can ever be is soft. And so and I'm kind of scared because I'm spitfire and grit, but so it's like I don't want him to make me too soft. But it's like when it comes to him, everything I do is gentle and soft and pure. Yeah, everything I do is pure, but sometimes it's pure grit and spitfire, and I want gentleness. But I digress. But like, I'll be sitting there, and a woman will walk up to the table, and all the men would stand up. That to me is the sexiest thing that I, because for me, I grew up believing that men were protectors. They were they were the ones that made the women not just your woman. Do you understand? But they made women feel safe. They made women feel comfortable and valuable. What I'm seeing now is there's starting to be a shift. I am seeing the shift. There's starting to be a shift where the men are taking care of their women. You're catering to your woman, which is great, but you cannot go out with that energy where you're catering and you care about what happens to your woman and you don't care about the rest of the women. I already hear a couple of you. I don't want my man catering. That's not the energy that you're talking about. That I'm talking about. The energy that I'm talking about is he is a gentleman, period. He is a man of valor, period. He's not a man of valor only to his family and then goes outside and be something completely different, because those are two contradictions and he's two different people. You understand? He can't be just the same way he can't be agreeable with you and do whatever you want to do, and he doesn't have a say in his life, but then go out and conquer the world. Those are two conflicting things, and he can't survive like that. No one can. You understand? He has to be able to be himself no matter where he goes. He has to be able to be himself with you, and you have to be strong enough as a woman, secure enough as a woman to know that if your husband, boyfriend, or whatever stands up when another woman walks into the room, that's just your husband. You understand? That's just who your husband is. He stands up when ladies enter the room. You understand? He takes his hat off in buildings. He doesn't wear his hat in the building because that's not what men are supposed to do. I don't understand the no hat in the building thing. It's just very attractive to me when I watch men walk in and take their hat off. You know, they take their hat off, and it's like it was just it's just a very attractive thing to me, because I feel like it's what for me. Remember, this is about me. What for me separates men from women. It just separates. Like women, we don't take hats off when we didn't take hats off when we came into the building. We don't. When we're inside, we don't take our hats off. But when men would come into the building, they would take their hats off. It's just what men do. Does that make sense? And I hear somebody, well, what are women supposed to do? That is not this video. Papa, I need you to stay focused. That is not this video. This video is specifically for me to help you. I am going to speak to the women just as much as, are we doing that today? And we're going to do it right after this video. So right after this video, we're going to talk to the women. This issue that we are having with men and women is not one-sided. This side isn't right and this side is wrong, and this side isn't right and that side isn't wrong. You're both right and you're both wrong. Does that make sense? And the universe sent me, the universe sent me, they sent me to mediate between whatever the fuck this is, whatever's going on with this. Does that make sense? And the thing is, this is not gender specific, it's just partners. You understand? But for this particular video, we're talking about heterosexual relationships between a man and a woman, because that's really the only one I personally know. And you know me, I don't like speaking on stuff that I don't really understand. I've never been with another woman, and I can only believe for myself that we would have a lot of similarities. But me and a man, we're very different. Does that make sense? I set that disclaimer for someone. Hope you caught it. But anyway, when a man would walk in and take his hat off, it showed me the type of man he is. you're a man. It's just a different frequency. I don't know what that frequency is. It's just a different frequency. It's a very different frequency for me. Am I saying, oh my god, men have to take their hat if you don't take it? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's sexy to me when I watch a man come in a building and they take his hat off. You understand? I don't know if it's because your hair has to be done. Your hair has to be clean and right and all this other stuff to take your hat off. So you have to be polished from head to toe to take your hat off, and you hold your hat in your hand and you just stand like a man. I love that. I've seen it. I have people in my life that do it. I think it's the most attractive thing I've ever seen. The next thing I do love is when a man lets a woman go first, right? When a man is like, please, and he just gestures, and then when he's your man and he gestures you and he like moves you with the small of your by the small of your back, not your ass, but the small of your back. That is the most attractive shit that I've ever seen. And the funny thing is, this hasn't happened to me. I'm literally like a hopeless romantic just watching other people and how other people move with their women in the street by themselves. And I'm watching it and I'm just like, okay. And I started playing this game at the office. When I go into the office, and there's a man at the elevator with me, I don't move. If I'm there first, I'm going in. You understand? But if I come after, I don't move. One, because he was there first, so I let him go. But it also tells me what type of man you are when you go in front of me just because you were first. And I know there's people like, what does that mean? What do you mean? What type of man? You're just not the man I know. That it's like no matter what, the woman goes first. It's the weirdest thing because I remember my father teaching that to my brother. I remember my father saying that to my brother. No, you need to let your sister go first. Your sister should go first. And then my uncle was that way too. He would tell my brother like certain things, and like the man doesn't wear his hat inside the house, take or side indoors, take your hat off. Men take their hat off. These were the things I heard standing around by other men, right? The other thing is letting women go first, whether it's in the elevator or coming out of the elevator. I think that is, to me, it's like it's the most sexiest thing ever. The next thing I find attractive is when I'm walking there, because this happened to me with a very close friend of mine. I was walking down the steps of we went to the sheriff's graduation, and we were walking down the steps, and I had on heels and I had on a long dress. I think it was a dress. No, it was a skirt. I had on a long skirt. I had on a long skirt. So I'm not the don't let the outfit fool you. I could get clumsy. So I was like looking and holding my skirt. All of a sudden I saw, and it was my old boss, Preston. He held his hand out and he helped me walk down the stairs because I was gonna make it, but it was kind of shady, it was kind of touch and go, so he held my hand and he walked me down the stair. I felt loved. That made me, I'm tearing up just thinking about, I love him. That made me feel loved. That made me feel like you care about me. Does that make sense? That you care about my safety. I've had people where I'm like stumbling with the outfit that I have and they're just walked off like I'm not there. I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like you keep saying, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man. You have to prove that that's who you are. And muscles and working out and having fast cars and having luxury houses and having a bunch of money and all that other stuff, that's good. But at the end of the day, am I safe? Do I feel safe? Do I feel seen? Do I feel loved? Does that make sense? Want do I want after a night out with you to only want to make love to you? And like that's what it's like. That's not the ultimate goal, because it shouldn't be the ultimate goal, because if that's the ultimate goal, you already lost. But the goal is to make your person want you. You understand? It's like I started to see, like, even with the clients that I have, I started to see that you don't even want to put an effort for the person to want you. You just want them to want you. That's crazy. And the funny thing is, it's not just men. Women do it too. And I'm just like, so you don't feel that you need to show up in any way and do anything for this person to be like, oh shit, okay, that's mine. You don't feel that you gotta do or look any which way or any. That to me is, it flabbergasted me when I found that out. And I'm just like, you can't just show up. You have to do stuff and be stuff and move. Yes, he moved to the drums. He went from the guitar, now he's playing the drums. But yeah, so it's, I told you he could do it. So it's like we have to understand that everybody's seeing you. Everything is visual. It the you can tell people whatever you want to tell them, but if you don't show it, it's not going to flow right. Does that make sense? And the person's going to be like, okay, he's saying one thing, but he's doing something completely different. If I see you, I'm standing next to you, you and I are standing together, and you just walk in front of me, I'm like, okay, you're either not paying attention, you weren't trained properly, or you just don't care. And you're like, I'm unimportant because you don't know me. That not only is dangerous, it's not smart, because the person you stand next, there's been times, and this is not me name dropping, there's been times, and this is a true story, I'm not even gonna lie to you, this is a true story, or make it up, this is a true story. I was going out just to go home. I was gonna go home. I was going home, right? And I just walked to the elevator like I normally walk to the elevator. There was a group of people standing there already. Like three people were standing there. And I didn't really care. I had my headphones in, really didn't care or whatever. So I stood by the elevator and I was waiting for the elevator to come. There was a gentleman that came up to me and was just like, hi. And I said, hi. I took my headphones out and I said, hi. He was like, how are you? I was like, I'm good. How are you? And I was like taken aback because people usually don't talk to each other. So I was taken aback and I was like, oh, how are you? And I was like, how are you? He was like, I'm fine. I was like, that's good. And then we got into the elevator. He let me go first. He let me go first. And then he stood next to me and he was like, he liked something I had on. I forgot what I had on. He complimented something I had on. And I was like, oh, and I started talking to him. I found out he was the new controller for New York City. Does that make sense to you? Now, if I would have been standoffish, if I would have not cared what he had to say, if I was like, yeah, please stop talking to me. And this is, I said I was going to talk to the women later, but I'm talking to the women with this one too. You don't know who you're standing next to. You don't know who you're, for the men, you don't know what woman you are allowing to go in before you and giving special, like, not favor but treatment to. You understand? You are a man of valor. If you're watching me, you want to be a man of valor. You want to be that knight in shining armor. You want to be that emperor. You want to be that king. You want to be that high emperor. You want to be, when you walk into a room, the whole room shifts, not because they're like, oh, here this dude go, but because they're like, nah, he's a real one. Nah, his wife, she don't play about him. He takes care of his family. He does. Then that's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to men that are like, oh, girls should do this and that. This is not the show for you, and it doesn't have to be. There, if you notice, I do not argue with you. You can call me whatever you want to call me. You can say whatever you want to say. I know my sons, if they follow what I'm telling them to do and they follow how I'm telling them to do it, when it comes to taking care of and making a woman feel a certain way, they are going to have sex with their wife until they transition, and or she transitions to something completely different. That's the goal. There are no roommates. We don't want any roommates. We don't want any marriage without love, a sexless marriage, all these labels that were put on marriage, that's not what it's supposed to be. All these labels that are put on relationships, they're not supposed to be there, but you have to put in the work to make sure that it freaking happens. You can't be like, well, I showed up today. You showed up today. You're not put together. That's not a good frequency. Putting yourself together, there's a certain frequency. I put myself together to be on camera. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm sitting here chilling, and then they're like, "Do a video," and I'm just like, "Dude, I got no eyebrows," and they're like, "You'll be fine. You don't need it. We don't need it for that transmission, but for this transmission, this is how I got dressed." You understand? It may work. It may not work. It is the transmission that I'm supposed to have to be aligned with what's supposed to go out. Does that make sense? What else do I find really attractive in men? It's definitely the standing up when a woman enters the room, the pulling out of her chair. When you pull out her chair, when I watch men pull out their woman's chair, and then they pull out their chair and they gently touch their back. Oh, it's amazing. I'll be sitting there going, "Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. It's beautiful." Though, let me help you. You want your woman to be like, "Yeah, that's right." You, when you take her out in public and when you're in private, you practice public displays in private. I have watched couples. I'm going to get back to what I was going to say. I have watched couples who I know, you guys don't act like that at home. I'm a Scorpio. We pay attention to everything. You guys don't act like that at home. Why? Because it looks awkward. It doesn't flow right. I can always tell when someone is being something that they're not outside in the street compared to who they are at home. Granted, it's also because I've been in those type of relationships where I'm outside with them going, "Who the fuck are you?" You're like, "Who are you?" And then we go home and, "Oh, there you go. I knew you were. I knew that wasn't you." You know, you should not have a public persona and a private one. They should both be the same. For me, this is literally what you get. I just had a session, an impromptu session with Jaden and Michaela, and it was literally just like this. I was wearing the same exact outfit. It was literally just like this. That's what it's like being with me. There is no public Keisha and private Keisha. There is no. I may curse less in public than I do in private. So if you think I curse a lot now, shoot, you see me at home. But anyway, but it's not that much better. I'm that much worse, rather. But anyway, so I'm pretty much the same everywhere I go. It doesn't change. It may change or turn up or down depending on what I have to get accomplished. Because me being my self at the office when there's a crisis, that's not the time for that. So I know how to maneuver and put where, but the base of who I am, my values, how I see the world, that doesn't change. How I treat people, that doesn't change. If you're nice to me in the street, I'll treat you the same way I treat the people who are nice to me at home. If you are rude to me in the street, I'm gonna treat you the same way I treat the people who are rude to me at home. Just because you have a title in my life does not mean that you can disrespect me. That's not gonna work. So that doesn't change. Who the person you get depends on you, because the vessel and the person is set. The dial keeps clicking and moving to what channel needs and frequency you need to understand. Does that make sense? But anyway, but yes, I have lost my whole train of thought, but we're going to find it eventually. If not, it wasn't important. But I do love when men pull the chair out. I love when I love when men are gentle. I don't like when men are one way in the street and another way at home. It's confusing to the people around you, right? And then it's like when you go out and you practice, see, I told you I'd find it. You practice who you are at home in private, because you can practice in private. She doesn't like when you slap her in her ass right before she walks through a fucking important meeting into a point an important meeting. You know what I'm saying? That's not how she operates. So you know, okay, my wife likes being, when she's in public, she likes being touched at the small of her back when I'm moving out, when I'm moving her around. I don't just yank her by her arm. I touch her gently. You teach yourself that stuff at home, and you practice at home or in private. So when you go out in public, it looks flawless and seamless because you've been doing it. Does that make sense? I love when men are gentle because I feel like I'm a female. I'm not, you're not supposed to be rough with me and then wonder why you get the rough me back. Does that make sense? When men are like, "Hey, how are you?" and they're talking to me and I can feel that gentleness, but then I know that they're a thug and a rough, and with men, that's sexy to me. Like a man who is gentle with women but like about his business with men, that to me is like, but not about his business where he's shady and does bad things, but he conducts business, he conducts his business, you understand, he uplifts, he teaches, he shows people what life is. That's attractive to me. It's a very attractive thing to me. It's attractive to watch men command a room. I sit there in awe of it, control the room, teach people, have people inspired. It's one of the most attractive things to me. Do I want a man who's successful? Yes. I'm successful. Why would I want something that's not my match? People are like, "Oh, that's gold digging." No, it's not. I dug my own gold. Do you understand? I dug my own gold. So you want me to take the gold that I dug to fund somebody else? You out your mind. I've done that. It doesn't work. It When you are unevenly yoked or unevenly tied to someone who's not doing what you're doing, the relationship is not going to work. They're going to either slow you down, or it's going to stagnate the relationship altogether, and somebody's going to get mad or jealous. It's just what happens. But when you find your match and you both, or he might be a little higher but you're going in that direction, he might, I like when my man knows more than me. Like, I think that's another thing that's attractive. When you can teach me, and I get downloads. So if you can teach me and you can make me change my perspective to a better perspective, that is the most attractive thing to me. When you can make me go, "Keisha, don't talk to them like that. You need to talk to them like this." That makes me go, "Oh shit." And you're right. That's attractive. A man who takes time with his thoughts and what he is going to say, and he's paying attention to everything around you, that's attractive to me. The next thing that's attractive to me is when a man pays attention. When you pay attention and you do things for me or others before they even ask for it, that to me is attractive. It's very attractive to me because it means that you're paying attention. If you see that I'm trying, which I am, to get my dancing legs back where my hips move and I can drop down and all this other stuff, and you just send me TikTok videos because I'm always on TikTok. You just send me TikTok videos of how to stretch out my legs, how to fix my hips. You start sending me stuff like that to show me that no, I'm here to support you. That is extremely attractive. It is. It's extremely attractive. The only thing that trumps that is when the man, I haven't had this yet, but the man cleans without you telling him to. If he's organized, because I'm an assistant by trade, so if he's clean, organized, on time all the time, has his, your life doesn't have to be fully together because my life isn't fully together, but you're at a point in your life where you have a hold on it, you have a handle on what's going on, and you're still building, you're still moving stuff around, and things jump off and all the other stuff. That's attractive to me. A man that's making moves, that's attractive to me because I've had people that just watched me do shit, didn't support me, didn't do have your own stuff going on that was successful, so it made you bitter. I I don't know if it's true, but I've been testing a theory and I've been watching it. If a man doesn't have a mission or something to be responsible for, it's not a good thing for him, because it's kind of like he has no direction. So I love a man who has a direction. I love a man who can compromise and speak his mind and say what he wants and say how he wants to move and what he wants to be and know what it is and move towards it. It's attractive to me. That's just what's attractive. Is there anything else? No, I think that's it. That's it for the guys. I love you guys. If you watched up to this point, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for receiving the transmission. Our app is starting to come soon. Our website is coming soon. Everything that we need to grow, love, and change is coming. So I love you guys. Stay up, stay blessed. Deuces. Women, you're next. And I'm out.